Hi everyone, and welcome to the 2022 PDGA Pro Worlds final round, presented by Dynamic Discs. We have your FPO chase card coverage here with Ace Run Pro. I'm Leah Sinagini here with...
And I'm Jennifer Allen. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to have a new FPO World Champion and just 9 more holes. The weather has been hot and humid, but the wind's light for most of the week. At 9 holes in, we have Kristen Tatar with a strong lead. She had an incredible front 9.
She was 7 birdies in a row or something.
8. This is hole number 10. This is a par 3, 330 feet. They opened up the OB on the left side of the fairway since DDO. So if you can get your drive just between and out of those 2 trees right there, you'll have a pretty good jump putt. Downhill, no grass around this green, so you have to kind of watch your speed coming in, but those little trees help keep most of the putts near the basket.
Valerie with the box after her great birdie on 9.
And she's gonna get by that first right tree, almost. She'll have a look at the basket from there.
Missy a little bit frustrated because I know she made a similar mistake yesterday, but she can save par from there. That gets a good move, and it just got to get under the tree line.
Wow, huge drive from Own. Getting a little extra distance with that going downhill. So you have to watch. Those early releases will catch you up right there where Paige did on the left side. I would say a majority of the mistakes is getting caught up on the trees on the right. If you can just really focus on a nice straight shot off the tee, you're going to get most of the way down with a look for birdie. This does play as our 4th most difficult hole on the course, only giving up 4 birdies on the day. Incredible upshot by Missy Gannon. This will be Paige's 3rd throw. And that tree helps it stay right there by the basket.
Great par putt from Missy and a solid par save after her drive.
We are finally to Own's drive. This is one of the longer drives I've seen on the hole all week.
And really that is the line to take if you're trying to park it. That flex forehand goes and filters right towards the basket if you get it high enough. Paige gets her bogey after that miscue on the tee. And Valerie with par. This is hole 11. It's a 404-foot par 3. It plays like a valley shot, so if you're committing to the birdie, you want to keep it high and out to the right side and let it fade back into the green. A straighter shot will play with the OB more on the left side. If you go OB left, you lose a lot of distance, and it's really hard to save par from down there. So most players have been trying to play that wider route. The right side OB doesn't come into play as much unless you overturn your drive.
Or you go too long.
And I don't experience that, so.
I'm getting it out there. Just a little bit near that left side, but that's going to be a good place for her to probably even attack the basket.
Yeah, we know she has a long putting range.
Valerie keeping a nice flat drive out to the right. That's going to be plenty safe just outside circle 2. We really had to worry about the angle of the disc when there was a lot more wind, but with these really light winds today, you can get a little more touchy with it and a little more aggressive on the angle coming in.
Let's see if Paige can make an adjustment from yesterday.
That has great height and angle. Big skip should get her near the basket.
And that
Beautiful
is
drive.
Excellent. Right there in the circle.
What a beautiful touch shot by Own to give her the drop-in par. Valerie follows her up. These women just look like they're just playing catch out here.
Missy with the long bid. Not quite, but great run at it. This is Paige putting for birdie.
Right in the heart of the basket. This hole gave up 4 birdies of the day, and that was one of them.
Good par putt there from Valerie. And then we'll see Missy and Owen tap in for their par as well.
We are here on hole 12. It's 450 feet, par 4. There is the right gap that you can take, but it's very risky. Over 400 feet is needed to get safe. And then you can take the left gap, which you need to land right in between the tree and the right OB. So for your second shot, if you land in between this tree and the OB, it's around 215 feet to the pin. You can either go over OB with the low ceiling, or you can go around with a sidearm and hope you get through the trees.
So as Chantel was saying, a couple of different ways you can attack the basket. I saw at least 3 different lines. The line that she previewed right there, laying in between the tree. I've seen rollers. I've also seen layups by Missy and a few others off on the left side of that big cedar, opening up their approach shot to the basket. This is a new placement from DDO, brings in a lot more OB. Our drives are really about the same place for the first shot. Paige needs that to get down in a hurry. And she is going to land safely on the left side of that big cedar.
Owen is swinging it out to try to get it to skip back into the right side. It doesn't quite get a good skip, so we'll see where that what that leaves her on our second shot.
Yeah, that'll really kind of close off her forehand. Valerie and Missy typically land on the left side of that cedar as well. To get on the right side of the cedar, you really have to almost throw a straight shot with just a little bit of a turn. And that sets up for a clean forehand, or like Chantel showed us, punching through the trees over the OB area to get to the basket. Lots of options and decisions to be made on this hole.
Owen is trying to get up and over around this bush and then trying to have it fade back.
Maybe
it
can
looks
get a
like
roll
it's
off
turning
of that.
into a little bit of a roller. That's right there at the edge of circle 2.
That's honestly probably about all she had from there. So you can see the left side opens up the gap a little bit more to punch through the trees. If you can get past that row tree, it puts you just inside circle 1.
Missy playing a straighter line. That puts her in circle 2 for her look at birdie. Paige also on the left side of that bush, and she punches through the trees. Parked for birdie. Great shot. Owen pitching up for her par.
Wow, another huge putt for Valerie. We're going to run this one back. Her circle 2 percentage had to be so high.
Wow, we've seen so many of them.
At least 3 or 4 this round already.
Amazing putt.
That was a huge bid for Missy. Right on line, just drops a hair low.
Almost saw 2 back-to-back circle 2 putts there.
So Owen and Missy tapped in their pars, and Paige is tapping in her birdie.
So we have 2 birdies and 2 pars on that hole. This is hole 13. It's a 333-foot par 3. It plays a little bit uphill. There's these trees here in the middle of the fairway, so most righty backhand shots are going to be hyzering around them. If you can get it high enough and skippy enough, you can get it to come back into the green. That tree right there on the right is a frequent one to hit before it can get back into the circle. Most players here are trying to get the birdie on this one. It does play a little bit harder with the uphill shot and the tight line off the tee, but we've seen most people putting for birdie on this chase card.
Yeah, OB there across the sidewalk on the right does not come into play as much as the OB does on the left side of the fairway. A bad kick off any of those trees or too big of a skip on the less of a grassy area can find that OB on the left side. Valerie lets that go a little bit low, gets caught up in the thick grass out before she gets underneath the trees. Owen just punching that out there, hoping to get a little bit of skip back in.
It's a little low. She's near the edge of circle 2.
A little bit harder for Owen to get the distance that we've seen when this plays uphill at the angle that it does. Missy has a little bit more distance and it looks like a little bit more speed to get a bigger skip, but she unfortunately gets right behind that last big tree guarding the basket. This is where we saw the women get a little tired yesterday and a lot of unfortunate missed putts that we don't typically see. So hopefully a little more energy, a little more motivation to finish out such a long week of golf.
It looks like Missy has a cleaner putt. She's doing her normal putt.
You can hear the cheering from these 2 holes kind of cross back to back. So bigger galleries, a little bit more of a distraction out here sometimes right before you throw or putt and someone starts yelling for the other card.
Paige makes that awesome birdie putt. We saw her slip up yesterday on this hole, so it's really awesome to see her clean it up and make that circle 2 34-foot putt.
Strong par save by Missy Gannon.
And this is Owen tapping out her par. So we have one birdie on the card. Paige will take the box going into hole 14.
Hole 14 plays as one of the longer holes on the course. You want to pick your line through those trees to land somewhere out here with a forehand or a backhand turnover shot off the left side. Second shot, you want to get as close to this big tree on the right as possible. If you get closer to the right, the fence, you can see the basket as you crest this hill. Pretty big sloping green, so you have to watch the speed of the disc and angle coming in at the basket. Like all these holes, OB lines both left and right. Paige trying to take the hyzer route, which is a little bit bigger, more open, and a little more height, as this one here on the left. That looks like it has a lot of hyzer angle. We want it to get down quick. Unfortunately, it finds the gallery. So if you take that left side, you really have to watch your nose angle. Owen's going to be safer with the forehand. I really feel like the left side is how you can get your distance all the way down the fairway to attack this green. Missy looks like she's lined up more for the straight shot. Nope, she's going hyzer. Hits one last branch going out of the trees, but she's out there to the open.
So Paige and Missy are here on the right side of the fairway. It does have that OB line following it the whole way down.
It's kind of interesting that Paige wanted to take the right side, but then cut it back out to the middle of the fairway. Usually if you take the right side hyzer gap, you kind of keep that right side all the way down the fence line. A little more dangerous going over the fence, but it does kind of open up your lines just a little bit. Missy continuing on with a hyzer line down the fairway.
That should set her up for a good third shot.
Valerie doing a good job watching her footing there. That's hard to do when there's a lot of distraction and people right beside you. She's going to keep that next shot right in the middle of the fairway. Owen had a huge birdie on this hole yesterday.
And that drive is looking good to set her up for hopefully another birdie on this hole.
So you see that rock wall there on the left. That starts our OB line, which goes towards the green. So you really want these shots to come closer to the fence and that shade tree right there on the right.
Paige got good distance on her second and third throws. She should be able to pitch up for her par.
Beautiful turn by Missy to try to get over the hill there. She is just outside circle 1. The winds were just perfect to try to really attack this hole today.
Valerie leaves it a little low, but she will have a downhill putt at the basket.
Owen going for it big time and putting it right next to the koozie.
No Owen putting highlights there. That's parked for birdie. That was Paige with a long fourth putt.
Beautiful putt for birdie by Missy Gannon. We'll run it back, take one more look.
She gives it just enough height.
Yeah, strong, confident bid.
When you're putting downhill like that, keeping it lower is a good thing to do, because if you do end up putting a little bit low and hitting the cage, you won't be sailing down the hill. Paige with a good par save after the miscue on her tee shot. And Owen tapping in for birdie. That was 3 great drives to get there. So we have 4 holes left.
Your rating is one of the most valuable things you get with a membership. It takes your performance in sanctioned events, compares it to the rest of the field, and gives you an empirical number to show how well you played. Rain, shine, wind is all taken into account, leaving only one thing: your play. This gives you accurate numbers to track how well you've been doing and your overall improvement in the game. Get your number today. Visit pdga.com/join.
This is hole 15. It's a 353-foot par 3. You're teeing off from an OB area and you must cross over this sidewalk. There's OB on the right side and the left side along the sidewalk on the other side of the fairway. Most players are trying to throw either a straight shot at the basket or a higher hyzer line to fade into the green here.
So this does play as an island. All shots must remain on that surface. So crossing the sidewalk isn't the only way to go out of bounds. If you go out of bounds long, Leah, you go all the way back to that drop zone.
And that is probably one of the least favorable drop zones. So
yeah, I never had looked at it until this round. So
oh man.
Missy has great angle and height in at the basket, putting her just outside circle 1. Paige needs that to hyzer in quick so she doesn't go long. And it does.
Great tee shot there.
Valerie needs to get around that tree.
Oh no.
So that was lucky because
no, she's OB. She's going to the drop zone.
Looked like it stayed in. So Valerie to the drop zone, which plays as a pretty tough shot. So that second shot can go long pretty easy. It was only about 250 feet from the drop zone. I feel you, Valerie. I had the same thing.
Oh. Yeah, so from there, she's putting for bogey from circle 1. This is Owen for her birdie look.
Oh. Such a good bid.
Missy is putting for birdie as well.
Back-to-back huge putts. Run it back for us. I love to hear the huge cheers by the crowd. It's really starting to pick up out here.
Yeah, there was so many spectators out there. It was really fun to see everyone cheering the players on. And that's 2 circle 2 putts in a row for Missy.
Paige leaves that one just a little soft.
This is Valerie for her bogey. Great putt there to save it. And so we have 2 pars from Owen and Paige. Missy with the long putt for birdie and Valerie with bogey. That brings us to the signature hole 16 island hole.
Hole 16, this is a par 3, 320-foot shot. You must go across this pond and remain on the grass area inside the ropes and in front of that big backstop of a wall. Water is down a little bit, so you can see those flags are quite a bit up out of the water. The drop zone is underneath the big tree over on the right, and the layup area to the right is very difficult to hit a good spot to attack the basket without getting into some more trouble.
We only saw Own, I believe, layup yesterday, and she did unfortunately go OB on that layup, so we'll see if she decides to go for it or try the layup shot again.
Even making the island, you really have to make the decision and commitment to run the putt. So even if we're going for the island, a lot of us are really still trying just to commit to a par. Owen going for the layup again. A lot of hyzer.
It's got to get down.
And she sneaks it right back to the drop zone.
Drop zone. And she loves it. The crowd loves it. The crowd loves her.
This does play as the second most difficult hole on the entire course.
Paige choosing a slower disc.
Yeah, she has the distance. She parked this yesterday.
Oh, wow.
A little long today, a little more juice, a little more excitement to close out the last day of the World Championships here.
And that will be a death putt, so she'll either choose to run it or not.
Valerie had a good line, just didn't have the distance to make the island. She'll be headed to the drop zone.
This is in Owen's putting range. It's about 80 feet. And she's trying to lay up there for her tap-in par. Missy giving it a good little floaty bid there. Also tapping in for bogey.
These last 3 holes really are, or even 4 holes, really play as a tough, grueling stretch to finish. You can sneak in several bogeys in a row if you're not really focused.
Wow!
Huge putt.
Paige is not afraid of a death putt. She runs that with a huge crowd and OB right behind it. That was a 33-foot putt for her birdie.
Wow. I'm still like jaw dropped over here. The commitment to that putt is, I mean, even from 20 feet, it's very scary to run. Even if you hit the basket,
it could roll.
It almost always rolled OB. Great putt by Paige. She was one of 6 birdies on the day.
An idea, a spark. Creativity is the lifeblood of ingenuity. The thought, a catalyst to progression. We create to inspire, to provide quality of mind. Because without the mind, the body is nothing. Without the body, the mind is nothing. Thought space. Elevate your mind. Elevate your game.
Make sure you give a love and subscribe to Ace Run Pro for all this incredible coverage of FPO.
This is hole 17. It's a 635-foot par 4. We want to get under that uphill tee shot with the low ceiling to land somewhere around here. If you can get far enough, you can go over the OB on the second shot. If not, you have to lay up on the left side of the fairway to go across on your third. This did play as the first most difficult hole. Let's see how this chase card plays it out.
So that OB does go all along the right side, but you kind of want to push it so you can attack the green. Paige is safe and at a pretty good spot. She can still attack from there for sure. You have to watch too big of a skip to get into the rough there on the left. Owen has good height. Wants that to slow down and stay in the short grass, and it does.
Missy up next on the tee.
Little too low, but that's going to be just fine. She will more than likely lay up.
Yeah, we have seen those first 3 drives more on the left side of the fairway. They will have a decision to make if they want to go for it on the second shot.
Valerie releases too high, gets caught up, and those branches right there typically drop you straight down. So Valerie's just going to try to pitch up near the OB line on the right. If you can get your drive low and turning off the tee and land along that right OB line, you can really have a good 250 foot shot to attack the basket.
This is Missy lining up her layup. And we only have these 2 holes left in the tournament, so players are looking at scores, seeing where they are in the leaderboard. If they're playing it safe here, they're really just trying to get their par and get through 18 with either par or birdie.
So Paige wide open to attack this green. If you can hit that cedar, you stay nice and close. She buzzes the basket and goes just outside circle 1.
Almost threw it in for eagle. Nate is very, very happy about that shot.
Valerie looks to leave that a little bit soft. We need it to get over the cardboard signs, and it does not, unfortunately. So she will be taking that next shot right at the OB line where it crossed.
That really is the last mistake you want to make there. You got to get it past that OB line, and just even if you're landing in circle 2 from going too long.
Owen has good angle for the skip. Unfortunately, she takes a little bit of a roll off of the edge of the hill there.
So since Valerie did not cross inbound, she's throwing from across again.
That one she gets right inside the bullseye.
That was her throwing 5, I believe.
You know Owen
for
is
par.
going for everything. She is such a strong finisher right down to the very last hole, trying to get every stroke she can.
This is Paige for her par. Oh, that was birdie because she had that eagle look.
She had a huge second drive. Missy likes to hit that putt underneath the cedar there. I think that's where she aims. I think I've seen several putts from her right there. Same spot all week.
Tried to sneak out there, but it sticks. And that's Valerie with an unfortunate double bogey there. She's had a little bit of a rough stretch, so hopefully she can finish out strong on 18.
Paige tapping out for par. And we're moving on to our very last hole of this year's 2022 Professional World Championships.
We got through that hole with 3 pars and a double bogey.
Here we are, hole 18. This is a par 3. Your first drive needs to cross this pond, leaving you 150 feet to the basket. Make sure not to get caught up on those 2 trees left and right. OB does circle all the way around the basket, close on the right side, as well as up the hill on the left. Depending on how you want to attack this with your putt, you might want to try to push the OB on the right to have an uphill putt, or hyzering out is a little bit easier to stay safe on your drive, and most people I've seen will just choose to lay up to finish the round off with a par.
So Paige does land on the high side there, like Jen was saying. So since she's in the circle, I imagine she's going to be running that.
This elevated basket really makes us have to commit and decide on that putt. Own leaves hers just a little bit short, but Own runs everything, so she'll be attacking it to try to get the birdie to finish off. The winds really allowed us to attack this course. It was really nice to see. So rare to see no winds here to finish on the 18th.
And this FPO field has gotten so strong this year.
Huge drive by Missy.
We've been seeing lots of really, really good scores being put on both courses.
Valerie's really had a tough stretch to finish. She has a perfect drive here.
Wow, that is a great drive. She's well into the circle for her birdie look. Look at this crowd. That is so many people. We love to see them out here supporting the FPO field. This is Own from long.
And she's going to pitch it up just to finish off the week with a beautiful par.
Here is Missy putting from circle 2. She's on the downslope, so it is an uphill putt to an elevated pin. It has the height, but misses just left. This is Paige for her birdie.
Solid, strong putt. She always loves to hit a huge putt in front of the big galleries.
That's awesome. What a great way.
Yeah, she always puts on a great show for everyone, whether if she's going big and ending with a bogey or slamming those confident putts. Valerie also carding a beautiful birdie to finish off the day and the long, long week here in Emporia, Kansas.
5 rounds in a row at the highest level.
Strong bid and putt for Missy Gannon to finish off the day.
These ladies sure did put on a show for us on the final round.
Missy Gannon's going to finish off with -6. Paige finishing 7 under. Own Scoggins at 5 for the day. And Valerie at even par.
Thank you everyone for coming out and watching this. We see that we have a new champion in Kristen Tatar, 38 under par. That is smoking hot. Henna and Holland and to round out the podium.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us at this year's World Championships in Emporia, Kansas. Thank you to Ace Run Pro for all this incredible coverage. Make sure you follow them and subscribe to their Patreon account. We will see you next time.
Thanks again, everyone.